Liturgical Year of Dom Prosper Guéranger. May 10th, St. Antoninus, Bishop and Confessor. The Order of St. Dominic, which has already presented to our triumphant Jesus Peter the Martyr and Catherine the Seraph of Siena, sends him today one of the many bishops trained and formed in its admirable school. It was in the 15th century, a period when sanctity was rare on the earth, that Antoninus realized in his own person the virtues of the greatest bishops of ancient times. His apostolic zeal, his deeds of charity, his mortified life are the glory of the Church of Florence, which has confided to his care. Heaven blessed that illustrious city with temporal prosperity on account of its saintly archbishop. Cosmas of Medici was frequently heard to say that Florence owed more to Antoninus than to any other man. The holy prelate was also celebrated for his great learning. He defended the papacy against the calumnies of certain seditious bishops in the Council of Basel and at the General Council of Florence. He eloquently asserted the truth of the Catholic faith, which was assaulted by the abettors of the Greek schism. How beautiful is our Holy Mother the Church that produces such children as Antoninus and has them in readiness to uphold what is true and withstand what is false. She thus speaks the praises of today's saint. Antoninus was born at Florence of respectable parents. He gave great promise even when quite a child of his sanctity. Having at the age of 16 entered the religious order of friars preachers, he at once became an object of admiration by the practice of his highest virtues. He declared ceaseless war against idleness. After taking a short sleep at night, he was the first at the office of matins, which over, he spent the remainder of the night in prayer, or reading, or writing. If at times he felt himself oppressed with unwelcome sleep owing to fatigue, he would lean his head for a while against the wall, and then, shaking off the drowsiness, he resumed his holy vigils with renewed earnestness. Being a most rigid observer of religious discipline, he never ate flesh meat, save in the case of severe illness. His bed was the ground, or a naked board. He always wore a hair shirt, and sometimes an iron girdle next to his skin. He observed the strictest chastity during his whole life. Such was his prudence in giving counsel that he went under the name of Antoninus the Counselor. He so excelled in humility that even when prior and provincial, he used to fulfill with the utmost self-abjection the lowest duties of the monastery. He was made Archbishop of Florence by Pope Eugenius IV. Great was his reluctance to accept such a dignity, nor would he have consented had it not been out of fear of incurring the spiritual penalties wherewith he was threatened by the Pope. It would be difficult to describe the prudence, piety, charity, meekness, and apostolic zeal wherewith he discharged his episcopal office. He learned almost all the sciences to perfection, and, what is surprising, he accomplished this by his own extraordinary talent, without having any master to teach him. Finally, after many labors, and after having published several learned books, he fell sick. Having received the Holy Eucharist and extreme unction, embraced the crucifix, he joyfully welcomed death on the 6th of the Nones of May, May 10th, in the year 1459. He was illustrious for the miracles which he wrought during his life, as also for those which followed after his death. He was canonized by Adrian VI in the year of our Lord, 1523. We give thanks to our risen Jesus for the sublime gifts bestowed by him on thee, O Antoninus. When he confided a portion of his flock to thy care, he enriched thee with the qualities of a shepherd according to his own heart. He knew that he could trust to thy love. He therefore gave thee charge over his lambs. The age in which thou livest was one of great disorder, and one that prepared the way for the scandals of the following century. And yet thou was one of the brightest lights the Church has ever had. Florence still cherishes thy memory as the man of God and the father of thy country. Aid her by thy prayers. The preachers of heresy have entered within her walls. Watch over the field whereon thine own hands sowed the good seed. Let not the cockle take root there. Thou wast the defender of the Holy See. Rise up in unhappy Italy, imitators of thy zeal and learning. Thou hadst the happiness of witnessing under the grand cupola of thy cathedral the reunion of the Greek Church with Rome. Thou hadst a share in bringing about this solemn reconciliation, which, alas, was to be of short duration. Pray, O Holy Pontiff, for the descendants of them that were faithless to the promise sealed on that very altar, whereon thy hands so often offered up the sacrifice of unity and peace. Disciple of the great Dominic, inheritor of his burning zeal, protect the holy order which he founded, and of which thou art so bright an ornament. Show that thou still lovest it. Give it increase, and procure for its children the holiness that once worked such loveliness and fruit in the Church. Holy Pontiff, be mindful of the faithful who implore thine intercession at this period of the year. Thy eloquent lips announced the Paschal so many years to the people of Florence, and urged them to share in the resurrection of our divine head. The same Paschal, the immortal Paschal, has shone once more upon us. We are still celebrating it. Oh, pray that its fruits may be lasting in us, and that our risen Jesus, who has given us life, may, in his grace, preserve it in our souls for all eternity.